So I live in Great Neck with my wife. I'm on the Great Neck Library Board of Trustees. I was elected in 2022. There was a group of people who were trying to ban books at the library, and I don't like anyone telling me what I can think, what I can read. So I ran for the library. I ended up spending 2 years as president of the library. I'm also on the planning board for the Village of Great Neck. I am currently on the board of Nassau University Medical Center, appointed by the Speaker of the State Assembly and the Governor, try to save that hospital from financial disaster. It's the only public safety net hospital in Long Island. So it's the hospital that people who don't have health insurance, or maybe they're undocumented, rely on for health care. Before that, the Governor had made me vice chair of the Nassau County Interim Finance Authority, or NYFA, which oversees Nassau County's finances, to make sure Nassau County doesn't play games with the books and spends taxpayer dollars wisely. So that's sort of my background here in Nassau County.
So is all of that mean full-time work? Like you're doing this full-time?
No. So you or your viewers might wonder, what does this guy do for a living? So my day job, as I call it, is I am a lawyer for a Jewish civil rights organization, and we represent anti-Semitism victims all across the country. So if you see lawsuits against Harvard or Columbia or Stanford, there's a good chance that the organization that I work for is involved in that. My emphasis is on anti-Semitism in the workplace. So I represent tech workers at Microsoft or faculty members at Adelphi, counseling people on how to deal with anti-Semitism issues in the workplace, bringing legal claims when that's the best way to represent the interests of our clients. But I also write, I speak, I lecture. Unfortunately, anti-Semitism is just exploding in the United States, particularly after October 7th. And, I play a small part in trying to do something about that. That's my day job.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Do you have kids as well? Or?
I have 3 kids.
Oh, wow.
They're in their 20s.
Wow.
They're all doing well, thank God.
I would never suspect you have in their 20s, to be honest.
Because I'm so youthful looking and good, very good. You should run for office.
No, I'm being honest.
No, you've got the gift, my friend. That's very good. I'm ready to vote for you. So my wife and I, we met in Queens College. I grew up in Queens. We met at Queens College. My wife is from Iran. After the Islamic Revolution, most of the Jewish community fled. Some went to Israel, some went to Los Angeles, some went to New York. My wife and her family landed in New York. So my wife came here when she was 10 years old, didn't speak any English, entirely new culture. Fast forward today, she's a state Supreme Court judge in Queens. Very proud of her. We met at Queens College. I served in the New York State Assembly and the New York City Council in Queens, in Eastern Queens, around the area around St. John's University, Queens College. And when my time there ended, we decided to move to Great Neck to be closer to my wife's family. And then me being me, I just got very involved in the community, and here we are.
All from banning of a book.
Yeah,
essentially.
That's absolutely true. Because when I moved to Great Neck, I moved to Long Island. I didn't really plan to be that intimately involved in local politics or government. At the time, I had a very senior position in state government. I was working first for Governor Cuomo and then Governor Hochul, actually doing a lot of work here on Long Island. I worked out of an office in Plainview overseeing the Public Service Commission. That's the entity that regulates utilities, telecoms, the electric company, the gas company. And that's a very senior position in state government. But I found out that my neighborhood library had people who were trying to take it over and impose an ideological litmus test on what books could be in the library, what programs could be in the library. I'm particularly oriented around really a discriminatory point of view and really an unwelcome approach to who the library serves. I raised my hand and I ran. Listen, politics can be very nasty and dirty. And when I say politics, that's electoral politics. But just go on Facebook or Twitter, and you see how nasty it is. And normal people, like good, decent, normal, professional people who would make excellent library board members or state senators or Congress members, they don't want to run and get in the arena because it's so violent, so nasty.